So it's a short lesson again. Sorry, I'm just with this transcript here. Okay. So it's about interviewing, and again, specifically I mean, I wanted to focus
So
on,
sorry,
yes,
Chris. Before I forget, I'm just thinking about this call out. Sorry to interrupt you,
no,
but
no
like
worries.
I'm just thinking if maybe do the radio station maybe deploy maybe the journalists just to check if they are getting the correct information, because maybe
For
something might happen on the community, only to find maybe the radio station is far away, but like they can only they they can able to understand what's going on maybe on a,
okay,
yeah. So
sure.
I don't know
So
how
are
do
you
they
talking
get how do how
within
within.
the context of like a jock going on air, like a presenter going on air? Are you asking whether the departments kind of share responsibility, or are you talking like specifically now we're
I, I- I'm
going to
I'm just thinking because like
compartmentalize?
as you said, maybe they might if let's say they might get the wrong, if let's say they're getting the wrong information, they
Yeah.
cannot just go back to the listeners to say we apologize, we give them maybe the wrong
Yes.
information. So
Yes.
we have to give the right information all the time. So I'm
Yes.
just thinking if like do they deploy maybe the journalist, to they are relying on journalists to get the correct information, or what?
Yeah. So what happens is, okay. So for example, like whether it comes from, so it's a good place is obviously, I mean, we're looking at news sources. The problem one is, once again, I'm not gonna like glamour soapbox this again, because you know me, I can carry on about it. But you know about the whole concept about fake news is super. It's very difficult right now to differentiate. When I say fake news, I'm talking about very opinionated, very biased, and also it's based on little, 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 not no, little information. I'm saying factual information. So we get a lot of I'm saying media, like let's say written media, for example, that is that is very questionable. Okay, so one, obviously, the community stations have obviously the paid, I mean, the paid services that they obviously have news sent to them that is specifically for the news departments that are not quite yet, I would say, skillful enough to go and source the information themselves and go find stories and follow leads and whatever it may be. It's a little bit it's a little bit too big when I say it's a big scope for them at a community level. So the services are paid, and so what happens is that the news you receive from these particular services, depending on which one it is that they choose, privatize, whatever it may be, right, um, will be considered truth. Do you understand? So,
Okay.
I'm saying to you that's fed to you by a paid service. Do you understand that again is accredited? So, the thing is that the problem obviously comes in the way that we now want to now kind of translate that and convert that over to what a jock is supposed to do. And a jock is to a certain extent a journalist, because that's what we do. We want to go find a story, we want to go to find obviously different dimensions to it. We want to go see different aspects, what's happening. You understand? People are reacting this way. Let's go see a couple of videos. Let's go check obviously like the I just hear someone's coming in, like the truth or whatever it may be. Oh, you guys accepting? Oh, I'm so glad that you guys can do it for me. Okay, you understand the validity of. I mean, TikTok is the worst. I'm sorry, it is the worst. When I say the worst, it is the worst in like I say information accuracy. It's so remastered and reproduced to for complete kind of sensationalistic reaction, right? And I mean, I just, because my cousin is addicted to TikTok, which is fine. It's cool. I have nothing. It's very entertaining. It's cool. But thing is, so I was having this discussion about how there's, and I think I mentioned this last time about Satan Con. There's Satan Con, and it's really disturbed me. And it was really kind of funny to not know and then find out that there's entire this con like this, like I say, very commercial, very desensitized event. Satanists go and celebrate and have like media things and like little gift bags and whatever. It's very funny to me. Anyway, the point is that she's very conspiracy theory-ist, whatever it is, right? But also it depends on where you find your information, right? So the thing is that she sent me this thing about the Rio de Janeiro Mardi Gras, which is very big, and the thing is that in the Mardi Gras there was this massive massive like float of like Satan, and the thing is that there were these demons. I'm saying people dressed as demons that were forking like a Jesus Christ figure, so they were, and then afterwards everyone knows about this, like so the video then says next day, and then there's all these floods in Brazil, whatever it is, right? But the thing is that the inaccuracy of that. So both things are true. In other words, there were the floods and there was devastation and stuff, which did happen, I think, this year. But those particular images of the Mardi Gras happened something like 4 or 5 years ago, and there was its own controversy, whatever it is. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, like that little 30 to 40-second clip is then it's we cross it and then we share it out of aggravation or sensationalism or because no one cares to see anything more, because that was like wow, oh my god, you understand? I'm not saying that my cousin's gullible, it's not that. I'm saying to everybody doesn't check information anymore, and that's a big problem. And the thing is that it's not that easy either. So you go type something in, and you will see like very very. It looks like very very dependable. Like they look like they credible sources and obviously results that do pop up when you go click on the news tab and you click on the whatever results tab in your Google searches. But the majority of them are all, like I say, they have to be fact checked because they are majority all biased. Especially when you are looking at things that are sub to sub to sub sections of a umbrella topic. Do you understand? So, for example, like the big like there is obviously big controversy about the de-dollarization of the American, obviously, dollar, right? So de-dollarization is sold to us because the dollar's becoming kind of uncontrollable, quote unquote, according to, again, factual sources, to the rest of the to a lot of the countries around the world, including obviously our allies, like obviously China and India and stuff like that want to take action on how to like lessen the strength of the dollar that continuously is for man, it is going through the roof for no reason. I mean, when I say for no reason, like it's just skyrocketed. Where last year, this time, I think it was easily about 16 Rand. Right now, we're looking at about 21 Rand easily, which is little. There's no cause and effect as to why the dollar should be so strong. I'm not siding with now, obviously, our allies. I'm just saying that this is real news, right? But then there is a crap load of results that come afterwards, right? Or around like the one or two you'll like obviously you must look at the New York Times. That is obviously like that's a dependable news source. We know that like they've been around for like over a century, whatever it is. We go look at that. That's fine. But then you see a whole lot of other stuff the site is named very it's smart, you understand, it's clean, it's professional, do you understand? The writing is very coercive. In other words, again, we write the stuff, and it looks and sounds so factual, but it really isn't. It's again based on a factual umbrella, but then the rest is all sensationalized as well, and it's very difficult to tell between each part and whatever. But that's why I said, I think I've said to all my classes, including you, that you need to go when you are looking at stuff and you're looking for content and stuff. Um, and you want to research, or you have to go and find these sites that are available to you, and you have to actually plant the URLs in there, and it's got to rate it for you. It'll rate it for you in many different I'm saying like factors. So whether it is biased and how much of it is factual, it'll rate it literally according to percentages and break it down for you to see how much of it is dependable as being able to like obviously use that to follow, just like close on you know what you asked and what we can say. So I have a friend many years ago, like just a short story on that. Like they were her father, her brother, and her daughter were driving in a car, obviously driving down to Durban, where her dad has like had part of his, like one of his outlets of his company down there, whatever it is, doesn't matter. The thing is that obviously there was this accident, right? And the father was in critical condition and he died, right? Okay, so he passed away. The thing is that one very small community newspaper sensationalized the original facts, which obviously then now this friend of mine, her sister, went down there. It was difficult to obviously get the father out of intensive care and to bring him back up here. He died in hospital. And then the thing is that obviously, and this man was very, very well off. Do you understand? So now what I'm saying to you is that there was a sensationalistic thing because it came out. The backstory was that he cut the brother out of the will, because he said to him, if you don't stop smoking, like, I'm going to cut you out the will. Like, and because the son was like, no, I'm not going to stop smoking, he said, okay, cool, I'm going to cut you out the will, as obviously something that was very informal and not meant to be like something political or serious, whatever. This particular little tabloid community, right, blew that up into some kind of sibling scandal, right? That then was fed to not a community, but to a regional newspaper. Do you understand? The regional newspaper can take the community tabloid as fact because they have stated and obviously then so stand by their information as fact. Within one day, she phoned me it was early morning, man, and I was in bed, and she said to me, please switch on the TV right now. She said, I said, switch to CNN. And it made her story, like her face and her ID with details, what was on CNN as a human interest story, obviously, because it's not world, like it's not a world, it's not of world like interest, I'm saying to your importance, right? Um, but it was a human interest story. And she said, can you see, can you tell me what to do? She wanted to know, obviously, how this happened, because, and I said to her, like, because it was on pretty much the majority of commercial stations as a human interest slash point scandal story, whatever it is. And I said, there's nothing you can do, I'm saying legally, to stop the story, because the thing is that it was fed off what was claimed to be factual by that tabloid community station. Do you understand? So I just, my entire big story, oh yeah, was about fact checking and how really important it is for you to sit back and say, geez, like there's a lot of, like I said, there's a massive cause and effect that can happen that can be detrimental to you, first of all, because we work selfishly in this world, right? But then it's super detrimental to who it is that you are and what it is that you're doing. You understand? So the thing is, obviously, there's no cause and effect. And I say that often. I'm saying that the term cause and effect because it just fits to any of the rippling stations that did lead with the story at some other point in the day, because it is of no consequence to them. Do you understand? But the thing is that it is 100% to the credibility of that, the obviously I mean the source, right? The source news source, with the community, like I say, radio slash newspaper. Wasn't sure which one took it. But the thing is that it is, once again, then there's this entire thing that obviously this life ripple affecting that you really don't want actually coming back to uh, destroy. It can destroy your kind of credibility, and then your job. No one will touch you as it is, as a journalist, as a presenter, whatever it is, depend. And you've seen that quite a few times, enough times within the news, even if you weren't looking for it, where presenters have gone on air, said something that is not true, that is accusatory, that is sensationalistic, that is accusatory, whatever it is, right? And have been fired immediately, because the thing is that the station does not want to like carry that and they will not, they won't back you up in any way. They'll just fire you, because that's what the public wants, and that's what you deserve. To sound really horrible, but it's true. So okay, so let me, like I said, this goes. Let me segue into the interviews, and then you'll come up with some questions for me. In the interviews, like when we're interviewing someone, the biggest thing is to not Q&A them. So in other words, like question one, let's do this. Question two, do this. Question three, do this. I was sitting with Lyndon Johnson, one of my radio icons, just like 2 days ago, and we're chatting about the irrelevance of so many interviews that are like interviews, obviously part and parcel of what we do on radio. That's true, but we don't want to just interview anybody about anything. That makes no sense. And on Kaya specifically, I was seeing a lot of push for really rubbish interviews, like just as a matter of fact interviews that they push as maybe as this is cool and it's important, whatever, but it actually it completely hit. It's a hit and a miss, or where no one cares, because this person who was maybe like there was a particular actor that had written a book. Nobody cares. Like nobody cares. I swear. Like, because the thing is that it wasn't relevant to that particular audience. Might have been relevant to a completely different audience on a different station at a different time. But really, there was no like again, no popular I say angle to it. So people were not like dying to read the book. No one even knew about the book. Do you understand? So they were trying to make something out of nothing, which is also for us to conduct interviews. People always think, oh, like, well, not always, but they sometimes think, oh, I need to get like the big people, or I need to get someone famous, or but it's really not about that. At the end of the day, you got to get the right person for obviously the right reason, and the right context. Once again, every every interview that you do has to land. In other words, if you have to interview a street vendor because like I don't know, street vendor, like whatever it is, street vendors have made it to the JSE. I don't know. I know that sounds ridiculous. I'm just saying something. It becomes topical, and we want to talk to someone who's obviously got like this leading product, but is not like commercialized or marketed or whatever it is. I'm saying under a brand or whatever, like a corporate brand. Like, I want to chat to them because they are essential to pushing the conversation of what it is that is, once again, contextual and relevant to the listener, as obviously part of their life, right? So again, it's critical for us because we can't guess everything, right? We can also ask the listeners for as much information as we can, but we might not still get the correct, I'm saying accurate facts and stuff that only reside with someone who is an expert professional on what it is that we are talking about. We also are approached. So you'll see that we talk about pricing. Like sometimes we are approached, especially as community stations. They ask, "Listen, can you please feature my business? Can you feature my whatever it is, like initiative or whatever?" And if it obviously falls within the community, that's cool. That's one. And there's obviously service to the community. But two, like if you're going to occupy half an hour, for example, of one of my shows that you are coming and asking for like selectively, you're going to have to pay at the end of the day as well. Something we're going to get something out of it. It's not a very common thing to price for interviews at all, because again, we need the content and we also need certain people. But when it becomes promotional, then it has to fall under like the sales or the marketing department, and it becomes very kind of very like unashamedly like marketed. There's no hiding what we're doing here. We're talking to you about your new brand, new product. Tell me about it. Where can I find it? Where can I buy it? Blah blah blah. Do you understand, right? So there is that aspect as well, the integrity of our product as a medium. Like we got to one, obviously, just in terms of that, like let's say there is someone that is buying into the station, they are coming on, they are pushing their product, their service. Like you got to take your dictation from sales and marketing, because the thing is that they are the ones that the blame must actually lie on. I'm not saying don't claim accountability. You're the one that's actually asking the questions. You have to ask the right questions. And let's say if they are promoting a new service or like a branding strategy or whatever it is, best you promote it in the right way. I don't want to again. The lecture immediately moves into this whole thing about marketing messages and whatever it is, and I don't want you to immediately think that this is what I want you to focus on, or interviews in general now must be this is where the main focus needs to lie. So I'm gonna kind of like just like put a pin on it in terms of like conversing or discussing it more as a marketing gimmick, and talk of it more as a component to obviously us and us finding um, more content that's relevant, and how important like conversations just in general with whoever is again an expert professional in the context of what it is that we are talking about. So for example, to be on air, right? So for example, if we took the AKA story, and again I'm just harboring on the one because for the moment, because I've already explained it, right? So there's many people that we could chat to in this particular case. So this funny Heerden, I think it's Van der Heerden, um, who's the advocate that is defending the people that's obviously being alligated against. Like you would like to speak to, I think it's a lady, right? So you'd like to speak to her, but you'd have to wonder how much of it can I use so that it doesn't become again some kind of media kind of ravaging space for her to be able to push her agenda. Do you understand? I'm going to be very careful that I interview her and whoever is obviously, I don't know, I'm not legally I'm legally challenged. In other words, I don't know the terminology, but whoever obviously the plaintiff is, I'm not too sure, right? Obviously the person that is that's obviously defending the state, right, against these four men, right? So like you'd have to have an equal room for them to, well, kind of state their cases, or maybe just state what is factual, because like what we've got from the media is really really vague, and it's wishy-washy, and it's very confusing, or the second interview that you would bring into the conversation is definitely the SAPS, because the SAPS, there was documents that were invalidated or invalid in general when they were requested on systems. These guys were held over an illegal period of time. The SAPS claimed like ignorance in terms of they didn't know what was going on. It was nothing to do with them. They are kind of like a post. post action or like action that needs to happen to this entire thing. It's very confusing. So you'll be able to talk to you'd have to talk to what the lieutenant that's in charge of the case and in charge of where these guys are, because they didn't pitch up for the again for the hearing. Or once again, you could then talk directly to uh I mean, sure, like I mean the family again. It's always like it's always an easy go. The family 10 to 1 will either not want to talk to you at all, completely. They would want to talk nothing about it because it's obviously hurtful, or they would want to talk a lot because the thing is they are seeking some kind of repentance, you understand, and some justice, you understand. So they will use any means necessary to over, like I say, sensationalize also an emotional state of being, which is very dangerous. All these things are dangerous for you, but doesn't mean that you mustn't go for them. You understand? You have to use your skill and your control. At the end of the day, you are the one in control. It is your show. You are the broadcaster, and you would pick and choose exactly who it is and why it is that you're talking to them with pre-prepped questions so they know. Do not be that presenter that surprises them with stuff. You're gonna like get them caught in the act. You're not Judge Judy, so don't try to behave that way. You are supposed to obviously chameleon your way through their responses. Definitely, that's why you research whoever it is that you are interviewing, right? Why it is, etc. So you can have obviously perspective, right? But you do not use them as a weapon. Do you understand? So that you can just be like, oh, like whatever it is, the really evil version of Larry King. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of just zoom in on this here. So from your textbooks. Okay. So this is obviously relevant, and I like this. It's nice. Please be aware of these things. So be aware of your audience when you are conducting an interview and also prepping the interview. So make the information relevant to them. Use suitable language. So in other words, they need to understand what you are saying. Not about swear words. I mean, obviously, you can't cuss and whatever it is on air, and you must be careful about like your attitude as well, because just the tone of your voice can show if you are biased or not. That doesn't mean you have to be monotone or not emotional or not have opinions, but you can't be, again, a key to propaganda or tool to propaganda. Give examples to explain again. So, where we are, why this is important, like think about it in your perspective, if it is relevant to a situation in their lives. This particular, I'm saying the AKA isn't really relevant in how we operate in our lives, but it is part of like I mean, it is part of knowledge, and I'm saying to the knowledge that we have in our in the things that happen around us, right? Be succinct, so make it clear and make it brief. When I say brief, it doesn't mean short. Say get to the point, man. Get to the point. Have questions, have points. Like I'm saying to you, like trains of thought, and then get to the point, right? Get the listeners to feel a connection. So at the end of the day, whether we are talking about the brand or an interview or a call out or whatever it may be, like you got to find like a landing point immediately for the listener to come sit with you. So empathy is how you do that. Empathetic people are radio people. How do we see this through your eyes, your life right now, your situation, your point of view? Because then I can immediately lock into like how it is relevant and how obviously we make the connection and so on. Okay, be open to difficult questions, please. That's what you want. You want also, I mean, let's say you do take live callers. You want to advocate, man. You want to advocate rich conversation. Like basic questions are important for understanding and to also state foundation. So when we do ask basic questions, they have to be a tool for a bigger purpose. You understand? but we don't ask stuff that everybody knows, also one that everyone can predict the answer to, and those two things are very different, because like when we predict the answer to something, it's you're asking like almost like a person, like, do you think killing someone is a good thing? And everyone's going to say no. Do you understand? So it's very predictable in that way. Anyone that, except obviously sociopaths that are serial killers, will say, yeah, well, for me, I mean, obviously I do it because it's kind of like it gives me a bit of a thrill, in many different ways. But the general consensus is that, like, no one's going to agree with obviously like that particular side. Use an approach that resonates with the listener. So consider again target audience, the station, and the tone. Consider the existing listener base. There are many links, and you can be, this can be endless. You can go look endlessly about interviews, etc. Um, my thing is my thing is about one. It's about obviously technique, to be able to note that technique is something that you master over time, right? But technique is obviously based on like the foundation, and you will continuously hear me say that throughout the semester. I'll say foundation skills are the most important things that you will learn in radio, and that's not true of every industry, because we can only be better broadcasters once we understand every like the importance of a foundation skill, and how we can manipulate the use of it moving further. I'm saying to more advanced um us, like obviously like state or whatever stage in our careers or growth or whatever. Okay. All right. Here's the exercise I would like you to do. It's very fluffy. It's very light. There's nothing controversial about this. So imagine yourself interviewing the CMO of Takealot. This is very market driven. In other words, like, we are now promoting this person here, but we don't make it be like, oh, like, tell me about your best products, or like, don't be, please don't be vanilla about this. Like, just like if you're going to go about best products, like, because this is about the end of year sale, the Christmas sale. Oh, they've obviously paid for the advertising, etc., etc. I'm also going to ask you to do a current affairs one based on any one of these three articles that I've sent in the group, and we give you some time. You're going to do that. You're going to come back. But I'll specifically with this one, you've got to be like, you got to like create conversation. So the CMO, I think I looked her up. I was like, okay, like, so this is Julie Ann Walsh. It's just to give you, just to put a person to like the title over there. So Julianne Walsh, is it important who Julianne Walsh is? No, like I'm saying, as a person, and we don't care about Julianne. Like, we don't. This is about Take a Lot, and about the specials, and about how crazy it's going to be, and like what are they like? So what is their Christmas theme? We might know about the Christmas theme. I don't know. I went to go look and see if Take a Lot actually made news at any one point. They only made news last year at some point for a couple of reasons, like their designs on Heritage Day. There's let me just quickly just see here. Um, limited edition box sets, very obviously commercial. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, right? When I say commercial, I'm saying to you, so go out and buy stuff. Not much more. Black Friday, that's type of stuff, but it allows us to, for example, be like, Julianne, you are I haven't shared the screen particularly, so I'm just randomly saying things, and you're looking at the presentation. I realize now. Okay, so Julianne, like, man, like I hear. I mean, obviously you have a Take Lot. You're the chief marketing officer. That you have Christmas spirit. Like, tell me about Christmas spirit. What is your, like? What is your Christmas spirit? Do you come in to Take a Lot? You guys have like mistletoe? Who's like um I don't know, appropriately kissed you under office hours. I don't know. Make it light. Do you understand? Kind of break the ice. You have to introduce. Take a lot's got this great Christmas end of year sale happening right now on the line. We have etc. etc. um, and then we get into, but then you're going to have to talk about the products and be like, I see there's a massive focus, particularly on you guys, completely like thrashing prices that have to do with like household and furniture goods, right? I didn't even know that Take a Lot did furniture goods. You can go and get like an entire home suite right now, like a lounge suite for $1,500. That's crazy. Like you drop the price, like you're half the price. What is that? What else? Where are the big deals? You understand? So you would have to service the client in that particular case. The other, like I say, again, from any of the other ones, the second article that I've sent there is about a law graduate that wasn't finding a job. Like where this guy found a job, he was mugged twice. He was killed and gunned down. Through what I understand, it was the intention of people that were criminals and had coerced him against his will to drive a certain like a delivery truck with obviously goods and whatever it may be. And then there was a situation, and a lot of the article is about the families remorse, like obviously like pain that they're going through, and how they couldn't find him and they didn't know what was going on, and etc etc, right? The third article is about our very temperamental team manager for Bafana, which is he's I mean, his behavior is, it doesn't matter whether like Bafana is winning some matches and stuff and they're friendly matches, and what's happening. I think June is the last one that the article says. But the thing is that this guy, like, they couldn't even control him. Even the Bafana coach, I think was right. The coach, right? He couldn't control the team manager, and that was obviously videoed, as obviously it would be, because I mean it's I mean that's it goes obviously on some broadcast channel, but people had to view that, and that's really, I mean, it's a really gross kind of taste in your mouth, and it completely trivializes anyone, which on that particular day, Bafana did win against, I think it was Nigeria. There was Nigeria they were playing. Yeah. So there we go. Okay. So who's got some questions? Anything questions about, like, okay, go ahead, Basham. You're gonna come up with two interviews, eh? So
Sorry,
yeah,
pardon me.
yes, yes, yeah. Go ahead.
Um, yeah, I think I'm a bit overwhelmed considering that
Oh,
I still need to do the assignment, well, to start the assignment. But I just wanted to ask, would you be willing to sort of direct, you know, the assignment process in a way, if you could like guide us on which chapters answer which question, that would lessen
wow.
the anxiety,
You're killing me.
please.
So forget the class activity. Um, Look, the thing is that in every yeah, thing is, do I include that on the other lessons? I don't know. Let me just quickly just check. Um, I'm not gonna. Hold on a second. Just give me a second. Let me just go see what I wrote on some other lessons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the lessons have page numbers. You understand? So, for example, like there'll be audio. Like I'm looking at lesson 4 here, radio 1, audio profile 529, 533. You understand? Like there are, that the subject matter is listed in the on the opening slide. You understand, right? Um, but
Sorry,
obviously, like,
please. Sorry, I
yes.
missed that. What did you say?
I'm saying like most of the slides actually say which page I'm referring to or which chapters in the book. But some don't. So again, the best I can say to you is like, look for. I mean, the textbook's a textbook. It's got obviously it's what is it? What do we call it at the end? Is it an appendix? I think it's an appendix. Appendix, yeah. Whatever. I don't know. Bibliography. Not sure.
Content
Uh,
page. The content
yeah, like
page.
you know, when it says like this has been mentioned here on this page, I don't know, I'm sure there's that. But the thing is again, like if you look at the lessons, most of them are quite they should the majority has to cover the beginning. I'm saying the first couple of chapters in your book because the later ones with each chapter is supposed to actually build further and further. You see, there's like a little person stepping on steps, so it shows you that it's graduating from one I'll say a thought process to another, or one yeah understanding concept to another. So most of your stuff will be there. Um, I'm saying in the beginning of the book, but I would just go and I would just say, okay, let me go and look and see where I can find these things, as opposed to me giving you where it's supposed to be.
But
Like
you're not giving me an answer.
I can't do that with good conscience. Like it's they're there, and again with the lessons. I'm not going to say that the answers are not in the lessons, because obviously the lessons are summary, and obviously a lot
Yeah.
more conversation around. But because because yours is so theoretically based, do you understand? Like the majority of those answers are going to be in the textbook. But if we look at, like I say, we looked at um I just want to, yeah, it's fine. I'll turn the recording off in just a moment. I just want to again quickly just go to this brief. Um, and then please, I want you to go and do this just exercise. Um, okay. Close this here. I'm gonna just okay. I'll switch that. Let me just switch the share. Uh, yeah. Okay. No. So again, like this is again, like you got the Rams report. Like again, because I've explained that in class, you see, like, and there are references obviously to the Rams, right? I'm saying to you, like, to understanding Rams in your textbook, you're not going to get that out of the textbook. You're going to get that out of obviously the Rams report itself. Do you understand? That's been supplied to you since the beginning, right? So again, which three SABC owned radio stations obtained their revenue from advertising? Like, let's see, like then that's, for me, obviously it's very obvious because I mean I know, but like you would have to know that we're not we're referring to a specific sect of types of radio stations, which again, if I say anything more, I'll give you the answer.
No, I
Again,
don't.
yeah.
I think if you were to say, like, for instance, question
Okay.
one is guided by chapters 1 to 2 or chapters 1 to 3, you wouldn't necessarily be giving us an answer because we still have to go through that chapter if
Are
we
you
don't
kidding me?
remember if we don't remember what you said in class. So we still have to do the digging ourselves. But I was
Hold
just
on.
asking that
Give me
you
your
know.
phone. Hold on. Find my textbook.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see, because the thing is that I don't really, I'll be honest with you, because I speak only, I use the textbook as reference. Um, I I don't want to waste time by going through, but the thing is that, like, for example, chapter one is like everything in chapter one is about what I just spoke about. So you'll see again different types of stations, uh, and then you'll see listenerships. But the thing is, you can't use these listenerships because, like, you have to refer to the latest RAMs, which are obviously provided for you.
So
There's
just
yeah,
a quick question, Chris.
yeah,
14.2. It's
uh,
asking which public commercial stations has the largest yesterday listenership in South Africa.
yeah.
Are we gonna be looking for what just happened yesterday,
Yeah,
or
no, no, no. So you have to understand. Guys, I'm not gonna
no?
revise later. Yeah, no, no, you're killing
Yeah,
me.
we're not
But
revising, but
no,
we're
I'm not
just
saying
asking.
I'm saying to you like you need to understand the concept of that's why it's in quote quotes that yes the yesterday concept. You understand why the terminology there's two numbers you're gonna find specifically on this report. The one is obviously your past 7 days, and the other one is the yesterday listenership. You understand? So you got to give me the right one of the two. It's very like I say, that's what I'm saying. It's very simple when it's straightforward, but very simple as long as you know where to find what and what you're looking for. Was you gonna say, oh, that doesn't oh sorry, I was about to swear, but you say that doesn't even help me. But it really does, you understand? So you'll know where to look: public commercial station, privately owned stations. You'll know the differences. If okay. So for example, name a station in the international radio market that has successfully rolled out a DAB system. I mean, that's in your books. I'm looking at it right now. Um, and same with 1.6, 1.7. So that's there. Still in chapter one, talking about like America, Mozambique, Australia, Zambia. Like that's all chapter one. Um, Again, I'm loosely going to go through some of the others. So with the demo, as far as I remember, this was not in the beginning. This was like later on in the book. So let me just look at the back. If I find references to, then I'm going to stop over there. I'm saying reference pages. Just give me a second, see if that actually is included. Uh, Activity solutions. Yeah, well, there's a bibliography. Uh, a second. Yeah, so the thing is, even with the bibliographies, because they are chapter oriented, like you can find your way through. Alternatively, uh, just go to the beginning of the bibliography. Just give me a second. Yeah, you see, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you just go to the beginning of each chapter, like at least you can see, like for example, I'm going to let's say chapter 11. Chapter 11 deals with quantitative, qualitative research, digital measurements, like radio audience measurements, music research, right? So like I would then be able to easily go and find something that if it is relevant to, which would tie in with chapter one. Here I'm saying to you, but there aren't any theory questions. You understand? This is based on that particular PDF that I shared online, right? Uh, this demo stuff, because the demo is in a much later chapter, because of the concept of a demo should be something that we build towards. Obviously, like once you understand how to do links and etc etc, I'm saying to you, demos are part of the end process. So you're going to find that definitely in a much later uh, chapter 9. Chapter 9. Let me just see. You guys are killing me. Sidebar. Hashtag sleeping
Hi,
HH.
Chris.
Yeah.
Uh, Sorry, how are you? I hope you're doing great, man. Um,
Yeah, tell me. Yes, while
I'm
I'm
just
going with this.
look.
Yeah.
I was just trying to listen to everything, and I don't know. Like sometimes I feel like I don't understand English at all. But so
That's fine. Go
so
on.
from this time we started with the radio lessons
Yeah.
until now, all these chapters that you've taught us, if we go back to the textbook, because I'm generally just looking at the situation that we're in right now, and I just feel like these questions, this assignment is, I mean, any assignment is super hectic, and obviously would have to look at everything that we've done. So I'm just trying to understand if all of the information that you shared with us and you've taught us from beginning until now, should we look at everything that you've done for this assignment? That's all I just wanted to understand. I can't say to you right now that you must give us the exact pages to look at, but I just want to understand.
Yeah. No. So everything that's been done in class, like I'm saying, you will find here. I'm saying you'll find I'm saying we've covered. You understand? Just to make sure that, and that's what I said. If you go, let's say like here, like obviously here we say it says find your favorite radio presenters Instagram page. Like we've spoken about digital. Do you understand? But this is obviously more of a quote unquote practical thing that you must go do. Supply one area of improvement, and then we've spoken about that in class, but how being like more obviously brand aware and making sure that you have digital schedules and stuff like that. You understand? Then it goes back to, for example, like Roxy Burgers, different tips that she gave for digital profiles, and that was quite straightforward and stuff. Provide areas of improvement based on obviously that. So that's applied knowledge then. And again, I'm going to answer your question again. So for example, here's like here's formats. We did formats and station formats, and that's quite obviously straightforward as well. But again, also again within the textbook, it is there, and most, well, you see like here it's situational. So now you got to, again, it's applied knowledge, like talking about a Marawa show, whether it fits, then you got to give it a reason as to why not. And then here, this was last week's lesson, and that's something everyone can kind of remember if you were in class. It was about those different pie charts, and then moving from one particular stage to the other. I think I keep missing the question. I'm saying that missing the answer to the question. Does that help a little bit more? Like in other words, like that it is covered and it is in the lessons as long there's discussions around it, and then you just have to find the matching. I'm saying when there is facts that are requested of you from the textbook, you need to state the facts. But a lot of that is applied knowledge. Do you understand? So you take the fact, then you explain. Do you understand? Based on, like I say, the case scenario, for example. Does that make sense? Yay or nay? I'm hearing nothing. As soon as I'm gonna stop recording me on there. Is that a yes or no? Yeah?